Hi friends, good morning. Today again um, there are plenty of concerns which I have to address, and my talk is going to be amalgamation of different topics. Uh, well, I will try to do justice with all the issues, though journalists are journalists and they are not supposed to be so judgmental and all that. But when concerns are raised before you, then you have to apply your knowledge even as a journalist. And some of the journalists, they are multidimensional. I mean, I had to work as a lecturer in law college, uh, plus I had to work as principal of College of Education, and so I mean, I do try to benefit the humanity by giving them whatsoever knowledge I do have acquired from Pakistani and American universities, along with experience which I have acquired while doing different uh, jobs, and while remaining as a part-time journalist for working for Government News Agency, Associated Press of Pakistan. Firstly, I'll deal with that issue of tense relations between India and Pakistan. And my utmost effort is to uh, deliver the up-to-date knowledge so to replace obsolete thinking prevailing here in subcontinent. And in this effort, I think that old guards will not mind what I will say today. Firstly, the myth of democracy, uh, which is prevailing here within India and Pakistan since long. We have to look into that. Whether that democracy was ever real or a combination of fascist and Nazi ideas were promoted here in the name of democracy. I did some research in that respect, and I want to share it with all of you. And I'm being asked for it, obviously. So let us be very clear that both in India and Pakistan, the leadership of the past or present, they might be very sincere, but they were unable to differentiate between democracy, fascism, and Nazism. And rather their brains were under the influence of Nazi and fascist ideas, which they were promoting in the name of democracy here. It is very common, even in communist countries. Communist countries, they declare themselves as democratic republics too, though they have one party rule and all that, dictatorship of one party. Communist Party prevails there, but they by themselves they have misconceived the notion of democracy, and they think that whatsoever dictatorial ways are can be exercised in the name of democracy. Because of the prevailing ignorance among the public, they rarely meet any resistance from any corner. My reading habits are responsible for uh, giving me the idea when I was 8th or ninth grade student of school that I shall look into the real essence of democracy. So it was happened that as a young student, as a young school student, I came across an article in a newspaper that was written regarding the sham political organizations which are having here, which we are having here in the subcontinent. And the author was of the view that without having democracy within a political party, how these hereditary organization uh, leaders or mafia chiefs are promoting, are claiming to promote democracy here. And bureaucracy and army in Pakistan always do a favor to the people of Pakistan by putting bar upon such hereditary organizations. Uh, and both bureaucracy of Pakistan and army is a major hindrance in way of uh, establishment of hereditary dictatorship of certain hereditary political organizations here. In the name of democracy, they are trying to establish their own rule, personal rule, or family rule in Pakistan. Same was the case with India too. Gandhi dynasty was ruling India throughout the span of time, which can be measured soon after independence. So they are also Congress. They don't have any in India. They don't have any within the party elections system. And I don't think that other parties in India are also having some ideal setup regarding this. Same is the case with Pakistan. Recently, Mia Nawaz Sharif, and I congratulate him for this, that he has taken steps and his party fellows, and they have initiated within the party elections. And he is a bold man, he is confident of himself. He has won the election as president of his party. His brother has won the election within the party as provincial chief of his Muslim League. Of course, he has got a brain which can accept ideas beneficial for the humanity, beneficial for our own country, and beneficial for ourselves and our people too. democratic behaviors, attitudes, they make a society flourish in all respects. More transparency, rule of law, all these uh, uh, good concepts are related to democracy, in which freedom of expression is there and nobody can establish his or her arbitrary rule. And then the important aspect is that if we modernize our political parties, if we hold within the party elections, and we establish paid offices in it, not only it enhances the confidence of public in our leaderships, but it also creates employment opportunities to many. Those who work for political parties as a paid office bearers, such people are there in United States of America. They're happily employed while working as office bearers of political parties. Then parties, they create their own funds and they spend on their own party activities, political activities. And the most important thing is that they strive to uh, make more people as members of their party, so the whole nation gets involved in a very healthy activity. So that rough ideas like having a misconception about fascist and Nazi way of doing things, that one dictator or a one party dictator can, one party dictatorship can resolve the problems of the people. That is being proven wrong. If you compare European democracies with communist countries and those pseudo-democratic countries which are having actually fascist rulers here, but are claiming to be democratic, we will come to know that the level of development, progress, prosperity, peace, everything has gone to Europe, where the uh, truly democratic ideals are being truly implemented and are practiced by everybody, and their behaviors are democratic. So that's why the healthy competition is also there. I just came across a news about a Chinese aircraft where a female Chinese pilot, she had lost her life. Whenever there is a weapon deal, I'm a peace-loving person. I don't approve weapon deals often, but whenever they ask me, I let them know that in America the competition is there. See the quality of F-16. The competition is there. They come up with the best. So if we are giving money, we get the best from them. Chinese might give us free and those others, but they don't have any competition. Everything being built there is approved because the industry is government owned. Nobody can have any objection on it. There is no competition. Nobody strives to be to come up with the best to be acceptable in market. So we have lost many lives, our precious lives of our Air Force pilots. They are our best friends. Chinese are our best friends. But the things which are harmful for us, I must highlight on that. That we have lost many pilots while they were flying in Chinese planes, and the air crash was happening. So I have tried to cite an example, the most recent example of the Chinese lady. She has lost her life as a pilot because you know that when there is no competition, when there is no system of checks and balances, where there is no free press, anybody can promote anything. That government machinery, especially, because nobody else can promote anything. Everything is moving under the government there in communist countries. So they don't have any competition, and they don't care about the quality of their products. So I hope that all those who are trying to uh, be so concerned about this terrorism issue. Now, to be honest, it is related with our that fascist and dictatorial setups which are prevailing here in Pakistan and India as well. Dictators, they never think in terms of humanity. They just prolong their own rule. Sometimes they resort to war and they create a warlike situation to cover up their own corruption and misdeeds. They do that. They put curbs on media. They do not give absolute freedom to judiciary. They do harass judiciary. They do attack the judiciary most of the times. In Pakistan, many such incidents can be cited out, and such things were happened here. So it is not an easy task to change the minds of everybody uh, because we are having too much ignorance here. Literacy ratio is too low within India and Pakistan. And to have a first-rate democracy, we need a large middle class, educated one, and prosperous one. And interesting thing is that those communist countries which are materially developed now, they can, because their literacy ratio is much better than uh, the other third world countries. If they look deep into all that argument, uh, they might turn themselves into first-rate democracies easily. But they have to be very open-minded in that respect, and they have to listen to all those who are good in teaching democratic ideals and all that, and practices as well. So I think that it is a reality, you know. Whosoever came to lead us, or innocent people, uh, they have sacrificed a lot for their own causes in the name of democracy. most of the political parties so far here in Pakistan and India as well are of uh, fascist and Nazi orientation. Their leaders of the past, especially, were involved in befooling the public, taking advantage of ignorance, prevailing ignorance here, and by this way, they were trying to uh, promote their hereditary rule. And all those who have sacrificed, those who have received bullet injuries, and those who are jailed, they even today they think that their sacrifices were for democracy. That was not the case. I mean, nobody, no true leader can, without having democracy in its own political party, can claim to be a leader who is out to bring democratic reforms in country. And so we in Pakistan, we are having the most organized and modern institution, that is Pakistan Army. They have always resisted such fascist and Nazi uh, dictators. Some of them were using the name of Islam even to promote their fascist ideas. And they were tackled well here. But in India, no resistance ever came from Indian army or bureaucracy. They have accepted everything what was being done to the people of India. All the discriminations uh, free-handedly were exercised by dictatorial rule of so-called democratic leaders of India against the people of India. And briefly, both people of India and Pakistan were misled into a system which was and which is still more Nazi and fascist in its essence. Same is the case with Afghanistan, where people are still struggling to survive, and they do have fascist and Nazi organizations in the garb of religion. They are promoting their extremist agendas there. And one organization among them is trying to promote their extremist agenda in the whole of subcontinent. And now they are hitting Pakistan. Their leader had openly confessed in a video on internet that their Pakistani allies, in alliance with their Pakistani allies, they are trying to promote their way of education, and they dislike Lord Macaulay's education system, which is being promoted here during the British rule. And they want to end the judicial system too, which is British in orientation in essence, according to them. So they have killed school children, they had killed university students here in Pakistan, they have attacked lawyers in Quetta. Yesterday they have attacked uh, a shrine of Sufi saint uh, in Khozdar, Balochistan. More than 40 people are being martyred there. So those fear creating Nazi and fascist tactics are common here. And I don't think that without having a truly democratic setups in republics of Pakistan and India, we will be able to counter these extremist Nazis who were uh, working, who were creating fear and terror in the name of Islam. Because I suspect that prevailing Nazi and fascist leaders of relevantly moderate so-called political organizations of subcontinent are having links with them, and they do facilitate each other, because it is next to impossible for any Afghan to come over and hit Pakistani lawyers without having a local support, or to hit Pakistani students within the garrison area of Peshawar without having any local support. So it's a big mess, in fact, but can be cleared easily. The beginning has been made by Mir Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, our existing Prime Minister. The more their party setups will be democratic, Pakistan will become more peaceful from within, and will definitely uh, no truly democratic leader can ever have any links with any fascist or Nazi organization for promotion of his political agenda, or to prolong his rule, his or her rule. So by this way they will end. So I encourage, I appreciate, I do criticize Mia Nawaz Sharif. That is my duty as a journalist, in good faith, when if I observe any wrong, but I praise him when he do something really good and great, not only for the country but for himself too. How this Nazi and fascist minded leadership can save itself to by promoting real democracy within their own political parties, because as I have narrated earlier that in mafia-like organizations the promotion ladder is dependent upon the death of a top man, and sometimes when the people in the bottom, at the bottom, when they become impatient, they resort to violence. So when an army major had asked me to look into the murder case of Mohtarima Benazir Bhutto, my first response was that she was surrounded by her own party leaders when that was happened to her in car in Rawalpindi. And though they are her loyalist and her setup, uh, it is funny to think that, for especially for the West, it will be very funny that they make her as a ideal of democracy, idol of democracy in subcontinent and champion of human rights and all that. Actually, the dictatorial setup which she had inherited uh, had never allowed her to initiate any true democracy within her own party. So she was all in all in all of her party, and so till now, any investigative journalist, whether as a government of a government agency or of a private newspaper, we all apply our knowledge and experience to come up with something really solid. And I think that all of us whom are working on her murder case shall not ignore this fact that she was ahead of her dictatorial setup. And obviously, there might be many other that leadership of that time, they might have facilitated those extremist Nazi organizations whom are working in the whom are terrorizing the people of subcontinent in the name of Islam, and even in the name of Hindu religion. RSS is the worst. They had killed, that Hindu extremist organization had killed peaceful men. Their uh, their founding father Mahatma Gandhi, they had killed him in a broad daylight. He was murdered by an extremist Hindu of RSS, which is now the ruling party of India. And interestingly, I have narrated in many of my articles too that that swastika symbol is so common there in India. You can see it in movies too, and that Nazi thinking prevailed so much. Even in my life, there were so many people who used to praise Hitler all the time, and Mussolini was not that much in debates here, but Hitler was often praised before me. And I used to laugh because once you're in habit of reading and once you're in habit of going deep into everything, then you know. And once you know the reality, essence of everything, then it is difficult for anyone to impress or mislead you. So I'm sharing all this with my friends, my audience, with my readers on my blog, and obviously in response of their queries, I'm doing all this because everybody is fed up of this, especially of this wave of terrorism. Too many innocent people are being slaughtered here virtually within India, within Pakistan. And now I'll touch Kashmir again. There are inside sources in India. Let me expose the source symbolically that some of the peace activists they're making combined efforts here in subcontinent, both of India and Pakistan, to promote peace here in subcontinent. And according to one peace activist, now situation has been somewhat normal inside Kashmir, and they are not using pellet guns against peaceful protesters. Only a fascist or a Nazi ruler can do this. Well, to be honest with all of you, we must know the true meanings of freedom, and then we shall start supporting the causes. Let us evaluate, do we have any freedom in India and Pakistan? Though the British rulers are gone, but without economic rights, without civil rights, without political rights, which are not being given in its true sense to our people, there is no freedom here. India is a worst victim of these Dalits, the vast majority of low caste Hindus. They are being pushed to live under subhuman conditions. In the name of freedom and democracy by fascist rulers. In Pakistan, discriminations are not that much deep because of the religious homogeneity, because we are all almost all of us are Muslims, and we are having a tiny Christian minority and Hindu and Sikh minorities. But comparatively, we are our minorities are in a better condition than if we compare it even with the Dalit majority. Dalit Hindu majority is facing is being discriminated there and is facing subhuman conditions, subhuman living conditions. So to go for freedom of Kashmir, before doing that, we shall free ourselves first. Both Indians and Pakistanis, those who are struggling to liberate Kashmir, they shall liberate themselves first. We must have liberty here first, so we can extend it to the others as well. And tactful handling of all the movements is required from westernized and educated bureaucracy and armies of Pakistan and India, of their people. If they will not handle them tactfully, and if they will accept the dictates of fascist leadership, obviously there will be more trouble in the country. So it looks really sometimes, and it sounds even very funny, to discuss such things here in subcontinent because our people are so innocent and they are they mostly stick to their beliefs, so much so that if I never dare to criticize uh, an ancient Hindu philosopher, Chanakya. It's a strange name, you know. You see, I start laughing whenever I hear, but that guy, he has got great respect there. The one who is proponent of Akhand Bharat philosophy, that countries till Middle East are part of ancient India, and that shall be included back, and we all shall be turned into, we all shall be converted back into Hindu religion, because the Hindu religion was a prevailing religion of ancient India. And he says very funny things. One funny idea of him is that your neighbor cannot be your friend. But the one who is living in a third house, your immediate neighbor cannot be your friend, but the one who is living in third house can be your friend. It's funny. I mean, no normal human being can embitter his or her relations with anyone. Why shall we consider our neighbors as our enemies, and especially immediate ones? But Chanakya says this, and they believe in it. Many of my Hindu friends, they believe in it. And today, when I'm seeing the increase in number of terror-related incidents, I'm taking the risk of criticizing them openly. If they can kill Mahatma Gandhi, RSS guys, I had received number of attempts on my life, and only God knows how I survived. But, and mostly I was unhurt, uh, physically, but whenever you survive a sure attempt on your life, obviously it puts some impact upon your brain, upon your psychology, upon your nerves even. So now, by the grace of God, situation is normal here. Uh, Around me, our armed forces have cleared the tribal areas from Chanakya thinking, and our cities are much more secure. And but I am worried about Balochistan. They are part of Pakistan, and they are the best part of Pakistan. We shall concentrate, the army shall concentrate. The network which is being destroyed here, and all the Indian diplomats involved in subversive activities here in Pakistan had directives from their fascist leader. They're being sent back to their countries, their country, India. And I think that I have explained all this, that we shall not, We shall judge all the ancient ideas and beliefs. Uh, we shall judge the logic behind all the ancient ideas and beliefs, and if that logic is sound and human, then we shall accept it, or we shall reject that thing and we shall not follow that Chanakya rule that your immediate neighbor is your enemy. Now Pakistanis, our lives are at risk if the Chanakya prevails in India. We are their enemies, but Afghanistan is their friend, according to the Chanakya rule. Because Afghanistan is their second neighbor. That is a funny idea. How we both, Pakistan is the third nuclear power of the world. And if we concentrate on uh, war efforts, promotion of war efforts, nothing will be left here because nuclear countries, they never fight. But when they fight, the mutual destruction is being assured. Both the countries are having potential to destroy each other completely. And that phenomena we can also remove by promotion of true democracy here. Because in democracy, in a true democratic environment, we can act in a logical manner, and if we act in a logical manner in a democratic environment, we are always being appreciated. Fascist leadership do not appreciate us. They send us home, back home, even as bureaucrats. I have experienced this recently. And I hope that I did my duty as a journalist well by saying and conveying all this to my friends and audience as well. And let us hope that everything will be fine here because we both Indians and Pakistanis, we are fast learners, and our increased interaction with America and with the Western world, with the free world, we will be able to learn more fastly, and we will be able to change our mindset, our fascist mindsets, and once that mindsets are changed, then it will be easy to curb terrorism, to promote democracy, and to live a better life, to avoid wars on different pretexts. And now we know the true meanings of freedom. So we shall, both people in India and Pakistan shall strive to achieve true freedom before giving freedom to anyone else. And shall shun all the Nazi and fascist ideas. Uh, and lastly, the third concern and very important concern is United States of America, where now we are having a new president. His victory is a good omen for the people of United States of America. I congratulate Mr. Donald Trump on his electoral victory, and I think that in all our different capacities, we will be working together in promotion of world peace. And all those, the media hype is there, they're trying to portray him as a anti-Muslim and all that. Even today, to my sister in the United States of America, I told her that it is not the case, he's not anti-Muslim. As a young student, but as a responsible head of delegation, of Pakistani delegation in the United States of America, I was there in 1988. When my country is in crisis, they always bring me in to help them out. My that visit was announced soon after the sad demise of our president in air crash. Then I was being sent to the United States of America, and we were having security guards throughout our work days during that visits, but on weekends we were left free and without security. And a colleague of mine, he was very interested in visiting one of Trump's business ventures. We went there. We had spent 8 or 9 hours there in the night. And obviously, we both were Muslims, Pakistani Muslims. And I assure everybody, his staff was true love and care to us. Though we have paid for everything, we were there for recreation purposes. But they had taken extra care of us. He is not anti-Muslim. But obviously, he does not encourage promotion of any sort of terrorist ideas. Become a truly democratic minded person, change your behavior, and Trump will change himself for you. His argument is very clear that all those heroes whom are heroes because they attack Americans or their allies, their heroship shall be ended. Because within America or some of the best allies of United States of America, they have first-rate democracies. They do not promote any sort of hate against anyone. So it is not the case that he is against any religion, but he is against the promotion of hatred in the name of religion. And obviously those who are indoctrinated in such manner, those who are indoctrinated in hatred against Americans, how can he allow them to move around freely and to attack anyone? So his argument is more related with security of everyone. And I agree with him. There shall no promotion of hatred in any form or manifestation, anywhere in the world. Even if someone is promoting hatred in United States of America against Pakistan or Pakistani citizens, I will recommend protective measures to my own government here to save my people. It is very natural. So I think that soon normalcy will prevail there. He will be understood by everybody. And with his conduct in administration, he will also prove that he is bringing in fresh thinking. And obviously, those who were promoting hatred, they are now disturbed in his presence. But soon they will get used to him and everything will be normal. To be peace loving is good. And to remove the root causes of war and terror, that effort shall be appreciated, and I think that Donald Trump is doing this. In the end, I wish all of you all the best and good luck as well.